I am a jazz musician, and I do study jazz, and I do play jazz, and I actually gigging at night. And the question is, what would I take that and apply that experience into my work as a CEO and my work in business? I think that there's a pros and cons in that. For example, the cons is I would not be the CEO that would be, you know, taking VC money and high growth and pushing it through and flip the company and go start another. Another word is serial CEO. So probably I'm not making to do that, but I would be more into building things to last. I'm more into building a system, building the capability, building and scaling the capabilities so that we have the ability to perfecting what we are doing and growing the business and doing better in that sense. Because from the jazz standpoint, you're always learning, you continue learning, and you continue perfecting your craft, and you contribute to the beauty, the embellishment of the music. So to me, applying to business is like, you have to build better capability. You grow your revenue, but you do it better, you do it smartly, and you have to have a way to build your capability so that you can build some new thing, you can do new song. And in my experience, that's the way how I see to build a business. I'm more focused on building it larger and doing it better rather than flipping it and go to another business and building new things. My alliance group, the make of the group is, in my view, is highly diverse. We have a person who runs the investment fund, and we have a person who runs a software company. We have a person who builds new consumer products. And then we have person who run the online commerce delivery service, and then you know, we have a person who building like really highly high-tech engineering type of products, and I'm sure that a couple more that I don't mention them all. But what's interesting is we all have kind of some similarity in the kind of over time we run into some similarity in terms of problems that we're dealing with, and the diversity does give us some feedback and some specific recommendation. Sometimes come in with in a similar industry, but also coming out of the box in a different industry, and I enjoy that. And I think I also enjoy learning about different industry, and sometimes part of listening to other people's problems and giving them advice becoming the best way for me to learn, because that I say, why I'm not doing what I'm trying to tell other people to do. So that's my experience with the diversity in the group. The typical meeting of the alliance, there are two types of meeting. One, I believe that we meet once a quarter, and we meet with larger regional groups, and we normally have a keynote speaker to start off in the morning. And I thought that I always enjoy it's very inspiring. I enjoy these keynote speakers. So it depends on, you know, who it is that's speaking, but the topic is always interesting, and the keynotes is always inspiring for me. And then after that, we normally break out into our own group, which is about 15 people, and monitored by or facilitated by a director. And then some other times out of this quarter, every quarter, that we would meet in a smaller group. And basically the way we do it is each time we meet, one CEO will get to be the focus CEO. And the focus CEO would present usually a strategy or a strategic case with some background about the company and certain new products or certain new direction of the company. So that focus CEO will give people background and ask specific questions and feedback that that CEO wants to get from the team. And then the team would go around and first asking clarifying question and then after that giving feedback. And then beyond that, there would be a check-in for each individual CEO in terms of if they have any burning issues at that session that they want to get feedback from their colleagues and their members, and they will get a chance to do that as well. So I thought usually it's the hardest thing is to get to the meeting. It's always hard to plan and carve out the time to go to the meetings. That's always hard to do that. But when you are in the meeting, it's always a rewarding experience, at least from my vantage point. But another point I want to point out is the wonderful experience is you also need to develop the relationship with these your colleagues in the group, and that's how you build friendship, and that's how you grow, and that's how you even learn more from each other. There's certainly other activities that are part of what the group offers. Locally, I enjoy a number of series. For example, there is one coming up in terms of how to build a high-performance SMT, or there might be a discussion on how to plan and execute M&A strategy and things like that. Or most recently, there was a international partnership with the CEO collaboration from Europe, and I got to participate in that event, and it was a wonderful experience for me to not only learn from CEOs, which I already have the platform here with the CEO Alliance, but also learn and share ideas with CEO from a different continent, from a different culture. So that is a very rewarding experience for me. From my point of view, in looking for a so-called a good member to be adding to the group, I think the biggest value would be their experience in what they do, particularly in their own industry, and then also their alignment with sharing, and certainly the personality has to fit with the group and the level of comfort, and it has to be also it has to be part of the group that they can get the value out for themselves as well, to be fit with the group. I think that's the fitting is very important in terms of the dynamic of the group, what experience you have to share, your value, and then also your where you have been and where you're going. It has to fit, with the group, and that person will be a great new contributor, but also the great new can be taken away from the group as well, and I think that's an important element. Okay. It's the sharing and the getting. What to do? You really, it's a very open culture where people share with complete trust, but at the same time, if you have to define your problems, you have to word your questions clearly, and the better that you define your problem, the better that you define the questions, the issue that you are dealing with, okay, then you will get brutal honesty and feedback from your members, and that would be something that you would expect from the group. There will be no hold bar feedback from these people, and they're willing to tell you that you are wrong, and but at the same time they will also willing to celebrate what you are doing right, and I think that's what you should expect in this group. The alliance director, their role is certainly they are the facilitator. They keep the communication, they keep the story, they keep the discussion focused, and they keep the flow of the conversation. That's certainly one of the values that they bring. But they also the connectors for different CEOs when they need to have conversation with each other, or they have the conversation with the group. And give an example. We usually, if one of us are not being able to make the meeting, one of the things we typically do is we do a status report to the team, and what we do is we would send to the director, and the director will broadcast this back to the group in terms of, you know, such and such, you know, he's not going to show up, but here's the progress, what he's been doing and what he has not been doing. I think that's the key role of directors. I also know that the other director within the alliance, they also taking the roles of organizing the, you know, extra curriculum kind of things. So will be like different focus meeting that on a variety of different topics. I thought that's another very valuable initiatives that being done by the alliance.